your deal been in front of your building? Your black speed bump you got in front of your building?
Oh, 10 years.
And still, you still see the yellow stripes on it.
Well, that is true, yes. The one that is.
Not that I'm a big fan of that deal, but.
Yeah, and mine's more of a, yeah.
Yours isn't. They still go over it. They still go.
But that is more of a parking bump, actually.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying about the ones that we looked at.
Yeah, but you're saying the sun's fading out.
You need to understand that the ones that we're talking about are about this thick, whereas, the old ones were pretty substantial and they're about this wide. It does look, I was gonna measure it, but, they are like the exact width of my truck tires, so that I believe a fire truck probably can straddle it and never even touch it. But once again, we don't have a fire truck.
But a fire truck would still have to stop there. Or do a slower speed.
Or go Yale where there's not one.
Well, I mean, you still have to go at lower speed. He wouldn't be crossing it at 40 miles an hour.
And that kind of is the point, is if they don't want to go there, they want to go to Yale, that kind of solves the problem too. Because the biggest trouble with trying to back out of a driveway is not knowing whether they're going to stop or not. And it's like if you wait because it looks like they're not going to stop, then you'll never get out, because, boy, all you gotta do is pause just a little bit and they're gone. They'll come on through anyway.
Well, we had this issue come up years ago when I was still chief, and it further down Yale, and the
congestion issue.
They were complaining about the speeders. Well, they didn't have a speed problem, they had a volume problem. And we went up there with the handheld radar, put it in her hand and stood there and said, okay, call them out. We went morning and afternoon to catch the morning traffic, and she was finally convinced it wasn't speeders. They were running 18, 19 miles an hour. The highest one I think we got that day was 21 in the 30-mile-an-hour zone, but there was a steady stream of them. And the reason that she couldn't get out, that was her issue. I can't get out of my driveway. It wasn't because they were speeding down the road. There's too damn many cars on that road.
And that's all still part of all of this, to help get the cars off that road and on to Robert's Cutoff. And yes, I went the same thing with our fine present chief. He came out with his radar gun in front of my office and found that I exaggerate quite a bit. But they were speeding. They were just not 80 miles an hour like I intended. But
somebody, I guess, is not used to that. They do look like they're going faster, especially if they've got a louder exhaust or something like that than what, because I hear that from people on social media, that they're doing 80 miles an hour down Merritt Street.
Well, of course, the problem is if it's too congested, 10 miles an hour can be too fast. There's not room to be going 10 miles, you know what I mean?
That, and
there's ice on the ground,
just coming off of Robert's Cutoff onto Sampson Circle there, which is now listed as 30, and we've got, once they hit Yale, now we've got it at 25. Probably we'll reduce that and put that 25 on as soon as they see it, as soon as they come off of Sampson Circle. That would help too. But if those are going to speed, they're going to speed. I don't care if it's 10 miles an hour. I mean, when we lowered it to 20 over on Sam Calloway, the people were complaining about the speeders, and when we sent the people over, the officers over to enforce it, the people we were catching were every one of the ones that complained.
But at the same time, this is a stop sign issue, not a speed issue.
Yeah, and I don't see how it's hurting anybody. It's not like it being in the middle of a street, so I'd like to see us give it a try.
2 weeks ago, sorry. I was just going to say, so 2 weeks ago we approved the rumble strip, so do y'all want to go with that or with the speed bump?
What did you find out? You were going to look it up.
We have found a supplier for the rumble strips. We haven't purchased them yet. And we do have a larger stop sign that's going to be placed there tomorrow with a little bit taller pole.
Thank you.
I think that stop stripe needs to be rear.
And it was supposed to be painted, and it wasn't painted, and I also,
It's scheduled.
I let one of y'all know that whoever painted meandering road, if they hadn't been paid, they need to come out and paint it again. It's not, it won't be there 2 months from now. It's
And I think when that stripe comes across the road, there should be that dividing stripe that divides those two. It doesn't have to be all the way down the street, but I think that wouldn't help enhance the fact that they're coming up to an intersection there. Because when I sat down there, I mean, you weren't here last time, Darren, but I sat down there for about 35, 40 minutes one Friday afternoon, about 4:30 to, after 5, and I've got it in here somewhere. I think it was 28 cars that came through that actually stopped, and I think there was 2 that actually ran it. I mean, just never slowed down. And then there was 2 or 3 that did what I call the California roll, where they looked like they might stop, but they slowed down and won't stop. But I think we could say that just about on every stop sign out here. And I think if you start putting these speed bumps, whatever you want to call them in, everybody in the world's going to want them. I'm just against them. I'm just telling you, I just don't like them.
So why would you be against it at this stop sign?
I just don't think they'll be effective. I think those that are going to speed are going to speed, and those that are going to run it are going to run it, regardless of whether it's down or not.
Okay. Well, I would like to see us try it. And if you're right, you're right. They bolt in, they unbolt. The ones in Lake Worth have been pulled up. They put them down and maybe that's something we need to look at. So, what Lake Worth reported back evidently is that they bought them with the intention, I don't think this would work, but they bought them with the intention of putting them at one area and slowing the traffic down, pulling them up, putting them in another area, slowing the traffic. So like we have somebody complaining right now about Merritt, maybe you can put some out there and find out, but I think as soon as you pull them up, they're going to go back to, other than possibly in the case of Yale, where like Kessler keeps talking about, why isn't anybody going down Yale? Why isn't anybody going down Roberts Cutoff? They should be going Jacksboro Highway. Well, no, it's a cutoff. But it possibly would do that, make them quit traveling that direction, and maybe they don't know when you pull them up, and they're now going down Roberts Cutoff. But that's what I would request, that we give it a try at this stop sign, see what it does, and if it doesn't work, I'll go out there and pull them up myself.
Is that a motion?
That's a motion.
I second.
We have a motion and a second to install a speed bump at the stop bar located at 2101 Sansom Circle, where Sansom Circle intersects with Yale Street.
A clarification, we're going to put it just before the stop sign or exactly at the stop sign?
I believe that's between the chief and...
Yeah, that's between the two of them.
Okay.
And to mark it in such a way that it's easily visible, or like what you're talking about, the ones I have that yellow on there.
And they're still there.
Those that we have didn't, the ones that we looked at that are lower profile, they don't have that mark. I don't know if they're available that way. Probably nice if they were solid white.
We'll make sure it won't be white.
Like the stop bar, but...
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Me. Opposed.
And I do want you to know I respect your opinion very much.
Absolutely. That's why we're here.
We agree.
Always agree there's a problem there, I think.
The vote is 3-1, motion does carry. Move to item number 11, consider approval of ordinance number 1342-2022, amending Chapter 3 Building Regulations, specifically in Article 3.12 signs, by revising and updating the city sign code. Marvin, do you want this one or Darren? Because Darren seems to be taking all of it.
Poor Darren.
I've been working on signs for 4 years now.
We're putting him to work the last couple of months.
That's right.
I drafted this ordinance, I was directed to try to have it at this meeting, which I do. I've also sat down with the attorney over some of the draft and some of the definitions that I put together, and have since corrected them. He does not like the idea of, even under our special purpose, where we have the 30, 60 day, well right now it's 21, we have a 21 for a grand opening, and then they can come back to council and get it up to 60 days. He doesn't like that. He thinks that you either need to do 30 or 60.